Unleash the dragon. Feel the power surge tonight.
Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei One-Shot Story Collection Movie 2. Before we start, please go support Whitehorse, one for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. Story 1. What if Issei was betrayed by family and was secret son of Riasvim Lucifer? Issei the Aczino. Chapter 1. POV. Everything was fine. We were happy like a family. But then you had to come along. T Maldigo Sona Sitri. You caused my hell, although thanks to you, I was able to grow in what I love most, freestyle. Thanks also to my sister. Those were the thoughts of a brown-haired boy with honey-colored eyes, about 12 years old. This boy was Hyoudou Issei, the third son of the Hyoudou family, along with his brothers. Katsuo Hyoudou, the oldest at 14 years old, was a good person 7 years ago, kind-hearted and friendly to everyone, but he only met Rias Gremory and Sona Sitri and everything changed. Upon learning that he had a dragon king, he became very arrogant to the point of hitting his younger brother and his parents. Wily Hyoudou, the middle daughter, is 13 years old. She is the only person who shows affection to her brother since he began to be mistreated for not having a sacred gear. Issei Hyoudou was the youngest of the three, as he was only 12 years old. And he was mistreated by his family, except for his older sister. 2 months ago. In Kuoh Park there were several people, but among them stood out a group of friends who were skateboarding, but one in particular, Issei, saw something that he found curious. Hey, I called to one of my friends, what are those two doing? I asked, seeing two boys having a rap battle but without seeing any lyrics or anything like that. Those two, they're having a freestyle battle, it's like rap but improvised, explained the brunette's friend. From then on, Issei began to attract attention, as he started secretly freestyling and battling with his friends, although not everything was rosy for Issei. Actualidad. Weak as always, little brother, Katsuo Hyoudou said, looking at his brother lying on the ground while his sister wiped his lip. Stop hanging out with that idiot. Sona-sama said you had a sacred gear, why don't we beat him up together? Why am I not an animal like you? The girl said, angering Katsuo, who punched her in the stomach and used Vritra's whip to absorb her energy. You idiot, she's our sister, let her go. Issei yelled as he stood up and punched Katsuo in the face, sending him flying. But what? He was puzzled, wondering how he'd sent his brother flying. Aichin, run away, said her sister weakly. What are you saying? Just like you helped me, I'll help you, Issei said as his sister smiled at him. Take my money and yours and go to Colombia, that's where the National Red Bull will be. Go, I already knew you liked freestyle, but go while you still can, Eyes Nishin, Wily said as Katsuo stood up. Can't you hear me or what? Go before they hurt you. He shouted as he stood up, pushing Issei, who entered his room. Issei reluctantly searched through his sister's drawers and found her savings. As if struck by lightning, he rushed out and ran to his room next door, grabbed his money and his suitcase, quickly threw in clothes and ran out the window while crying. I swear I'll come back for you, Ilanson, no matter the risk, I'll come back for you, Issei said as he ran to the airport. Aeroport. Can I have a ticket for the plane to Colombia, please? Issei said, arriving at the airport. It's leaving in 5 minutes, hurry up if you want, but is an adult coming with you? Asked a woman in her 20s, looking at the little boy. Yes, I am his older brother, only I am going to Peru, but our father is on the plane to Colombia and our mother on the one to Peru, said one of Issei's friends, who was tall, dark-skinned, with dark brown eyes and short hair but with slightly long strands. Jack Issei whispered, watching his best friend with whom he had a group called MC4, helping him catch his flight. Well, if there are any problems, take it and board quickly, said the woman, handing a ticket to Issei and Jack. Thanks, Jack, but are you going to Peru? Issei asked, heading to the gate where they scan boarding passes. Don't thank me, and about my leaving, yes, I'm going to the Red Bull National, I suppose you're going to the one in Colombia, right? Jack asked, handing over his ticket. Yes, but will we see each other again? Issei asked, looking at the one he considers his brother. Sure, but take your flight, it's about to leave, hurry up and good luck, said Jack, giving Issei a fist bump as Issei bumped his fist with him. We'll meet again and compete to see who's the best ever, okay? Issei said with a challenging look. Sure, and I'll beat you again, Jack said in the same tone as Issei said goodbye and headed to the plane. I hope you do well, Issei brother. On the planes. At night. ZZZZZZZ Issei was asleep in a seat by the window while having a strange dream. Issei's subconscious. The boy was in a completely black space like you, while he floated staring into nothingness. Hello boy, a person greeted as Issei turned around and found himself face to face with a man of about 29 years of average height, a little chubby with dark brown eyes, with very little beard and slightly cross-eyed, wearing a cap, a sweatshirt and blue pants along with black sneakers. Who are you? Issei asked, looking at the subject. Well then, do you believe in the supernatural? The man said, looking at Issei. No. I figured as much. Well, kid, all mythologies are real. The angelic, the Greek, the Asgardian, the demons, and the fallen angels. The man said as he told Issei the story of the supernatural. You see, a long time ago, more precisely 4,000 years ago, there was a great war between the demonic, fallen, and angelic factions. Among them was me, the original demon king, Lucifer, he said, leaving Issei in shock. If you are Lucifer, what are your names and gods? Said Issei, looking at the man. Well, then my name is Aczino, but I never used it, so I was mostly known as Lucifer, and God was called Hyoudou, but he was known by his false name Elohim, said the one identified as Lucifer or Aczino. I see, said the boy, understanding. Since I see you're going to Colombia, and yes, I know your story and I'm sorry for your loss, but since I know you have no other family, here's an unlimited money card, he said, handing her a credit card. Shouldn't you give it to me after training or something? East asked. Now because you're such a fool, I'll give it to you after the training, which will be your hell, you wanker, he said, taking the card away. Well, putting all that aside, you're my reincarnation or descendant, damn it, I don't remember. Wait a minute, he said, pulling out a book with a family tree. Let's see, Lucifer, Risvim the faggot Valier, here it is, it seems you're the lost son of Risvim's son, what the hell? That guy died 13 years ago, wait, oh yeah, that makes sense, he said, coming up with an unnecessary theory. Well, but you know I'm going to Red Bull, right, said Issei. Of course, in fact I give you permission to sign up with my name, but skipping the filler, there are 5 hours left to arrive. I will train you for 10 years, which here is 5 hours, he said while putting gravity seals on Issei. Start running or you die, he said while doing a magic attack. When did I agree? He thought as he ran. I was going to train you anyway, even if you didn't agree, he said, attacking him with a fire spell. Are you reading minds or what? He said while still running. No, but I know you probably thought that, she said while still attacking him, Colombia. Issei had finished traveling and went to a hotel with the card Lucifer gave him and went to sleep. While the next day he went to Red Bull and signed up, passing without many problems the round of 16 against Parka, the quarterfinals against Eka, the semifinals against Valsti, and the final against the top favorite. All the while back in his city, his family was looking for him while his sister missed him and cried without leaving her room and without speaking to her family. End of chapter. Chapter 02. It's been a while since I've been here, said a chestnut-haired man getting off a plane at Kuoh City Airport in Japan. So this is where you lived? Well, it's not a big deal, said a man of about 21, somewhat fat and with long hair. I know, but meh, it's been a long time since I've been here, Joni, said the brown-haired man, looking at the one identified as Joni Beltran, one of the best in Mexico. Well, shall we go now? Remember that Scone, Hyoudou, Yankee 1 and Arcana will be arriving in a few weeks, Joni said, looking at the brunette. Also choke Gaviria, I don't remember if it was Gaviria or Gazer, and the promising woes, he said as they left the airport. Just don't lose in the first round like last year against Hyoudou, said the black-haired man, looking at the brown-haired man. You know I lost because of a bottle they threw, he said as they walked, and some people approached them to ask for a photo and autograph, or in the case of the brunette, a child. I think I'm looking forward to local, he said as more people arrived. Hey, don't mess around. Wait for meet and greet, he said, signing a notebook. Let them be, there's no problem anyway. We have to go to the national one after I win the regional one, he said, recalling that because of how he lost in the first round of the Red Bull Battalla de los Gallos International in 2016, he had to go for the regional and the national one if he wanted to go to the international one. Well, I'm going ahead to the hotel, he said as he left. But when he left, some interviewers arrived heading towards the chestnut tree. Excuse me, young Hyoudou Issei, also known as Aczino, what do you think about going to the nationals after losing to Mr. Hyoudou last year in the round of 16? Asked an interviewer. Well, I plan to go all out at the nationals because RC, Lobo Estepario, Raptor, etc. are there, said Hyoudou Issei, who returned to his hometown after 3 years. A few hours passed and things had calmed down, but Issei learned from a little bird that one of his dearest people was going to Kuoh Academy. Con. Pav. It's been 3 years since you left and I really miss you. You were my only support in that stupid, hypocritical family who, when you left, started looking for you like never before. Well, except for Katsuo, he became even more arrogant. I really miss you, Issei. I've been watching your battles with our family and friends, and I honestly don't regret telling you to leave. Thanks to that, you became, along with the idol Sina Kachiwasaki, the most famous in Kuoh, not to mention in Japan. I've been watching your feats. When you won the Red Bull in Colombia as a visitor, when you won the Red Bull in 2014, the fix they did to you against Invert, when you won in 2015, when you were the first winner of 3rd and 4th place in Chile, and when you lost against Acapella in the first round at God level. When you lost the opportunity for the BDM back-to-back championship in Chile against Tiorma, and most importantly when you lost in Peru at Red Bull in the round of 16. But I'm sure this will be your year, because as they say, after the storm comes the calm, and I'm sure you'll win the national and international titles too. Illichin, are you ready? A red-haired girl who is my mistress asked me. That's right, I'm a demon who carries the red dragon. This girl has cared more for me in 2 weeks than my family has in 16 years. My mistress's name is Rias Gremory, who is the biggest fan I know of my brother. Ready for what? I said playing dumb because today is the Red Bull national competition where my brother will be. Why would Issei Sama be there? It's the nationals where he'll be, he said, adding the Sama because he respects him much more than his own brother, the Demon King. Fin Pav de Wiley.
Con Issei.
Achu sneezed, the chestnut-tired boy who was already at the hotel putting on a black Puma shirt and finally a brown cap. You're already sick, no problem, just stay in quarantine, Joni said, looking at Issei. I'm not sick, I just feel like someone mentioned me, said the brunette, adjusting his cap. Aha, the famous one, just for being local, he said as he sat on the edge of the bed. Be careful not to make a hole in the shape of your butt in the bed, or worse, break the mattress and the base and end up making a hole in the floor, he said, reminding her how fat she was. Hey, you're such a jerk, he said as he took out his phone. Con Wiley. She was sitting in an armchair at the occult club with her companions watching a 32-inch smart TV on YouTube, typing the name Red Bull Battle de los Gallos, Red Bull Battle of the Roosters. Pav Wiley. Now that I think about it, the only ones who seem really excited are Rias, Aczino, Kaneko, and Kiba. Apparently Asia is too, but all I want is for it to start already. I want to see my brother. Hey, now that I think about it, the national competition starts at 7:00 p.m. and it's only 5:00 p.m. There are 2 hours left until it starts, I said, looking at my classmates who suddenly each pulled out their phones while Rias and Kaneko looked at their watches, realizing that I was right. Damn it, they all said because they'd lost track of time. Fin Pav Wiley.
Con Katsuo.
Pav Katsuo. It's been 3 years since I haven't been able to hit my little brother, and I haven't been able to have hex with my sister, because she has the protection of the busty redhead and she also has drag. My idea was to beat my brother until she told me she would do anything to make me leave him and ask her to have hex with her. But nuo, just when the useless guy leaves, she awakens her sacred gear, which to top it all off is stronger than mine. Even so, my brother's little girl became famous by rewarding his weakness. Although now that I see it, Sona's entourage hates me because they weren't there when I was hitting Issei, and when they found out they hated me, but I don't care, but I do want to have hex with Mono, Rhea, Ruruko, and Damn, I forgot the other brunette's name, but oh well. Unfortunately, they're only interested in my brother. The bad thing is, if he shows up here, I'll give him the beating of his life for not being my punching bag for 3 years. I had to settle for the first-year students who were protected by my sister, which was my bad luck, although I might accept the idea that an acquaintance gave me. Fin Pav Katusa.
With Issei.
He was already in the car that would take him to the place where the national competition would be held. He was reading a book, seemingly very intently reading the pages. Columbia, beloved land.
If you are going to sing, first tune your voice.
Go on, take him away so he stops bothering me. When I go there, Cage and I will be looking for me.
She'll carry the flag on her skirt. Because if she carries it like I do, her back will break.
She always wants to do double time, unfortunately. Her mouth never agrees with her mind. Do you think playing at home will bring you luck? Brazil said the same thing and look what happened. They got thrashed 7-0.
He just screams because he's the miniature Kaiser. Yes, I am a conceited,
boastful, arrogant, a damn bastard, but one thing you can't deny about Aczino
is that he's the best damn freestyler ever born.
I also talked about the judges on the other occasion. I already beat this one, I'll give this one a fight in December. I just can't beat him because he doesn't rap.
This shit wants to talk about cocaine.
But your mouth will dislocate if you hear a single one of my lines. Pola, you're so cocky, I'm so scrotum. Tell me, invert, have I earned your vote yet? You throw a bottle, you idiot. You throw a bottle at me, I throw one at your compatriot.
Let's see who kicked your ass in the last tournament. Mid-2017.
I'm so insignificant, so why does your hand tremble when I'm around?
He said that Monterrey is really pissed off because this guy happened there.
RC already made it. Congratulations, you advanced from the quarterfinals.
I'm taking the beast of hardcore with me as a pet. If I got a rooster, he's a skinny faggot, let me introduce him, his name is Nitro.
It already hurts and I haven't even put it in yet. It really comes with mollusk style. You go with them to please them. 5,000 versus 1, well, that seems fair to me. The one who will always bring them more flow. They talked to me about BDM, I beat them both there. And the only time you were champion was when CO2.
Made a mistake. I'm rapping with my homies.
Stay with the woman who's like Dref Killas, admire Cody. Issei closed the book, which was a notebook that said my best rhymes on the cover. These included the rhymes from Red Bull and BDM along with those from God Level. As for Issei, these are the competitions he excelled at the most. Without realizing it, she had already arrived at the place where the national competition would be held, in which she would qualify for the international competition. Besides, he would have to hurry because after the national competition, he would only have 2 days to go to Chile for a competition called Double AA, where the 32 best freestylers in the world attend. And because of the flight times, I would only have 1 day in Kuoh. Apart from going to Mexico for the international competition, since Mexico is his home for freestyle, and the Red Bull International will also be held there. "Ready, brat?" asked a voice inside Issei. This voice was his companion, a Longinus of the same level as the boosted gear, only this one had another ability, and it's also a dragon-type Longinus. "Of course I am, partner," said Issei as he remembered a very important person to him. "Are you still thinking about the truth?" asked the dragon, for he knew Issei very well. "Of course, he was my teacher, a father I never had. I still remember when he told me that I am not 100% of that family," said the chestnut-tired man, recalling what his teacher and great-grandfather told him. Flashback. "Wait, you said he was Albert's son?" Issei said, remembering that Aczino had told him he was his grandson's son. "That's right, a few hours ago I started investigating and found out that when you were born you were in too much danger and your real parents, Albert and Layla, sealed your powers and the color of your hair and eyes, and left you in a park where the Hyoudou found you, and 2 days later your dad went and took blood from your sleeping parents, putting it in your veins. But when you could awaken your power, that blood will be expelled from you and your hair and eyes will change color," he said while pulling out a story he made out of thin air. "I see, but when will I remove that seal?" the boy asked. "I reckon in 3 years," he said, looking at Issei. "Well, get back to training." Vin flashback. "If I remember correctly, I have a week before the seal is broken," he said, without realizing that he had already arrived at the national venue and had already entered the place, standing in front of the stage. "I wish you luck, I'm going to sleep," said the dragon, cutting off communication with its host. "Well, let's do it," he said as he headed towards the stage. End of chapter. Chapter 3. Hours had passed since Issei arrived at the national tournament, where he easily passed the round of 8, the quarterfinals and the semi-finals. He thought the final would be easy, but he was up against a talented boy named Eder, whose alias was Raptor, who was starting to give him trouble. "Time," was the host's shout, stopping the incredible 4x4 between Issei and Eder. Issei approached Eder to shake his hand and say, "Good battle." These were the words of the brunette as his rival said the same to him. "We'll give you the result in 3-2-1 rematch." Fu shouted as Issei looked surprised, since he was having a tremendous national competition and Raptor was the only one who had forced a rematch. "Put on the beat," Raptor starts. "Okay, we'll give it to you in 3-2-1 time." Raptor. "Hands up example." "Wait, believe me, I have more talent." "Are you the favorite? Don't act like a fool. You can't mess with me, I'm not afraid of you." Aczino. "I'm not afraid of you, just watch. But look, Aczino's coming to tell you to buck off. I'm gonna kill you with my slang. You gotta come back, now you're really screwed." Raptor. "You're screwed," says the loser. "He's being a local and they're glorifying him. The new school is rising. I ruined your legend to start my legacy." Aczino. "To begin my legacy." And since he already screwed it up, he started it on his knees. "Here I stand, you can't beat me with your crap, not even in the Italian club." Raptor. "Stop yelling during your freestyles. Besides, we know I have the talent. I'll sign on my knees, no doubt about it. Why are we on equal footing?" Aczino. "We're on the same page, but I judge your competitions. I don't know what all the crap is about. I was your judge at 2 events and you were terrible at both." Raptor. "You're worthless, I have to say it. Rapper, I'm going to destroy you, because when I competed, all you had to do was sit there, bitch, and vote for me." Aczino. "Yes, I saw it right there. I did it, but I'm the representative. Do you know that, you ignorant fool? I didn't eliminate you as a judge just to humiliate you as a participant." Raptor. "As a participant, he's more of a reference point. Hands up for the whole continent. As a participant, he's more effective. Everyone knows him, so remember me, people." As that rapper who made a whole continent mourns, Aczino. "Come to a whole continent, I respect you. Don't get angry, kids, stay still. If you already have something to tell your grandchildren. The best of all time kicked your ass." Raptor. "Of all time, shut your mouth. I'll tell my grandchildren and I choose." The answer, "I'll tell my grandchildren, but don't let your children know this." Time 3-2-1 Aczino. Was Circo's shout as the other participants lifted him up and the public shouted, "Aczino, the champion of Red Bull National 2017. Aczino, and we'll see you at the International." He said as he gave the prize to Issei, and he had in his hand the number 4 made with his fingers pointing to the 4th Red Bull prize. Time skip. Hours had passed since the chestnut-tired man won the Red Bull national competition and had qualified for the international in pursuit of his dream. "What are you thinking about so much?" was the question that was heard as two light blue wings came out of Issei's back. "I don't know, Albion, I don't know whether to retire and give my position to Eder or fight for my dream," were the words of the chestnut-tired man as he looked at the full moon from the rooftop of the hotel where he was staying. "But why? You're so close to fulfilling your dream, you just lack motivation, that's all," were the words of Albion the White Dragon. "Do I lack motivation? Then I've lacked it since 2014. I lost in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals in 2015, and in the round of 16 in 2016. Do I have a future in this? I'm considered one of the top 3 in the world and the best in Kuoh, but beyond that I have nothing. Since I made a name for myself at the Colombian Nationals and got the rebound at the 2014 Nationals, maybe Eder has more motivation than me." These were the words of the brunette, recalling his entire journey in the 6 years of his international career. "Do you know how many would kill to be in your place? You're the envy of many, Hyoudou. Remember what the old man told you, just be patient and you'll achieve your dream." "What kind of patience do I need to spend 6 years in the middle of nowhere?" the chestnut-tired man said as his wings returned to his back. "What if I've wasted 6 years on a dream I'll never achieve? What the hell?" The chestnut-tired man's thoughts were interrupted by a monstrous creature about 12 meters tall. Its lower body was burned and blood dripped from it, while its torso was covered in scratches. Its face was white, its eyelids burned, and it wore a wide, ear-to-ear grin that looked as if it had been carved with some kind of knife. "What is this? A weak and defenseless little boy," were the monster's words upon seeing the brunette, though he only remained paralyzed with a look that showed fear. But it wasn't because of that monster, but because its smile reminded him of something from his past. His face. It's similar to Katsuo's. His face went from being completely terrified to showing immense anger. "Katsuo, balance breaker." He shouted furiously as his wings reappeared. Dividing balance breaker," was the cry of the White Dragon. Out of nowhere, a white armor with golden details and celestial spheres began to appear on the chestnut-tired man's body. Out of nowhere, all of Kuoh began to tremble, alerting the citizens, but especially the demons Gremory and Sitri, due to the immense power emanating from the chestnut-tired boy, whose hair, once brown, began to turn white and his eyes blue. "Divide," the boy shouted as he attacked the demon with lightning speed. The surprised demon took the full force of the blow, and as he flew away, spat out a huge amount of blood. "Issei, calm down, you're unleashing all your power, you could alert the demons in the areas," said the dragon, worried about his wielder, not because he would be discovered, but because his body still couldn't handle all his power. "I don't give a damn about demons, I just want to kill this thing," the boy shouted as he charged back at the monster, punching it in the stomach and tearing through a huge hole from which a large amount of blood gushed out. However, the young man was not satisfied. "Before you die, I'm going to make you suffer for every day you beat me." Katsuo, blinded by rage, Issei summoned 2 energy swords from both arms like Goku Black's V, and used them to slice through every part of the monster's body, finally pulling out its heart and bursting it with his own hand, staining it with blood. Then a magic circle appeared with the Gremory symbol, and from where it was, all the members of the occult club emerged, while from the other end of the ceiling the Sitri symbol appeared and the respective members of the student council emerged. What they saw terrified them, for on the ground there was a huge pool of blood, a mutilated body, and enormous pieces of flesh. But what traumatized them the most was seeing a man in white armor covered in blood that wasn't his. But what scared them the most was that in the blue part of the eye they saw Issei's eye with a emotionless gaze looking at everyone present. "I demand you tell us your name and what you're doing here," shouted the Sitri heiress, while the boy just turned to look at her and began to feel a great anger, but then relaxed. "I won't say my name because nothing forces me to tell you, and I'll do whatever the hell I want here," he said as he began to look at everyone until his gaze settled intently on a brunette girl from the Gremory group. From the angle of the helmet, it seemed as if he was looking straight ahead, but he could perfectly well look to the sides. "Answer properly, you idiot. Don't you know who I am? Who gives you the right to speak to my president like that?" shouted a blonde boy and a brown-haired boy. "Katsuo," was the young man's brief thought. "1. I answer as I please. 2. I don't give a damn whoever they are. 3. I asked my balls and they said Simon, answer him like this," said the brunette as his hair and eye color returned to normal and his armor began to fade into blue particles. Those present were completely shocked to see the young man who had carried out a massacre with a single rogue demon. The young man they saw was Hyoudou Issei, the brunette who was about to enter Kuoh Academy, the young man who a few hours ago had been crowned as a 4-time champion of Red Bull Battle de los Gallos. Issei Nai-chan, a brunette better known as Wily Hyoudou, was in shock upon seeing her younger brother whom I admire as the White Celestial Dragon. Time skip. A few days had passed since that incident and Issei peacefully entered Kuoh Academy, well apart from the fact that he was harassed by 99% of the female staff. Everything was normal.
In December, I was playing internationally, and I couldn't stop training because I had to be stronger than ever. The young man was leaving Kuoh Academy when his older sister Wiley approached him. Issei Nai-chan, President Rias wants me to go talk to her, the girl said as the brunette simply extended his hand. Take me, said the brunette as the green-eyed girl obeyed and took him to the occult club. Upon arriving, the first thing he saw was Rias, Aczino, and Kaneko going to hug him like good simps. When that moment ended, everything became serious until Rias broke the silence. Hyoudou Issei, I politely ask for an explanation of what happened last night, said the redhead, looking into the brunette's eyes. Well, that thing tried to attack me and I simply defended myself, the brunette said, looking at the redhead with the same expression. The atmosphere was strange, some found it uncomfortable, others odd, but Issei and Rias found it comfortable, feeling as if each other's presence was the best thing in the world. Another question, do you want to be part of my entourage? You'll have all the freedom you want, you said, blushing at the eye contact you made with the brunette. Accept it, partner. On other occasions I would say to reject it, but the girl seems nice, besides you can ask for whatever liberties you want, said the dragon while Issei thought about the words spoken by Albion. I accept the proposal. Something tells me it will be like being with you, but I want my freedom because of my busy schedule, said the brunette as he grabbed his briefcase and left. Time skip. It was night and Issei was in his hotel room. It should be clarified that Joni and the others had already left since they were only there for the national competition, where he was reflecting on everything until out of nowhere he remembered that there were 3 national competitions left before doing the international one. He was nervous because this was in his hometown and he didn't want to disappoint anyone. Will Hyoudou win the national championship? Was the young man's thought, looking at the ceiling as he remembered the boy who gave him too much of a fight in a BDM exhibition. Remember that Sergio told you he would win the national tournament so that you would face each other in the international one, were the dragon's words. You're right, but there are strong rivals like Force, BTA, Blanc, and the favorite Walls, he said, while doubting whether his rival could win the Spanish national championship. The dragon simply went to sleep, completely ignoring its host. At precisely 2:23 a.m., the boy felt a bad sensation as he woke up for some reason and stood up abruptly, looking around only to see a shadow next to him with a huge red smile and white eyes staring at him. Soon we will be united and no one will be able to stop the massacre we will carry out. These were the words before he disappeared and the entire dark background vanished and returned to normal. It was just a nightmare, were the young man's words before lying down again. End of chapter. Story 2. What if Issei became the greatest freestyle singer? Woes. Valentin Oliva. Issei Oliva woes. Clarifications. 1. Issei will be with Sido. 2. He will have a maximum of 6 or 10 partners. 3. It will be supernatural. Issei will be Ria's pawn, but only for a few months since he was busy with the demons and their events, so he stopped being her pawn. 4. It will be a mini harem. 5. I will make Woes Issei win outside his country since Woes always won in Argentina, so I will make Issei win double AA, God Level, and Red Bull. Who do they want as partners? 1. Gabriel, 2. Lavinia. 3. Forbidden, 4. Ravel, 5. Lefay, 6. Aczino, 7. Murayama, 8. Sina Kachiwasaki. Nah, not the 8th one, I'm going to make it a no-brainer, better choose 5 or 9 women. 9. Gremory Rias, 10. Kuroka, 11. Queen of Hunting. 12. Momo Hanakai, 13. Sona Sitri, 14. Stella Vermilion, 15. 5. Volley, 16. Serafal. Ask. What nationality should I give Issei? Argentinian, Japanese. What will Issei's nationality be? I say this because Woes was on Team Argentina along with Truno and Papo, and I don't know if I'm going to make them Argentinian or leave them Japanese, but let the nationality count. Which country should I put it from? Harem. To conclude the clarifications and get to the prologue, these are the only girls who will be in the harem of the brown-haired Hyoudou Issei. The Fae Pendragon, Ravel Phoenix, Gabriel Is It Dirty, Lavinia Renette, Serafal, Yasaka, Star Vermilion, Momo Hanakai, Kaori Murayama. Unfortunately for the Hellcat, those are Issei's only partners. I'll also include Femme Volley if you want. As a final clarification, Issei will have the boosted gear well, if I have time later I'll write the prologue. By prologue. In the beautiful and peaceful city of Kuoh, which belongs to the country called Japan. In this city everything is normal, obviously everyone does what any person would do at 10:23 in the morning. Some were already late for work, others were shopping or others were going to school. Well, this was not the case for a small boy with brown hair and amber eyes. This boy appeared to be around 10 years old. This child was in Kuoh City Park. He was alone because apparently his best friend and only friend he had recently left the city to move to Italy because of his friend's parents' work. The little boy was swinging alone on a swing, looking dejected. Let me go. The shout reached the small ears of the young brunette. Without wasting any time, he got up from the swing and walked towards where he heard the voice. Upon arriving at the place, he saw a beautiful girl with blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, and it appeared the girl was 9 years old. The girl was surrounded by some 13-year-old boys who were trying to hit her because I don't know. Come on, brat, just give us your money and we'll leave, said one of the boys who appeared to be the leader. The chestnut-haired man wasn't planning on doing anything until he saw the girl on her knees crying. It made him feel imposing because he couldn't do anything. What? Are you going to cry already? Ha, the boy didn't finish as he felt a punch to the right side of his face. The boy was knocked down by the brutality of the blow. Hey kid, what's wrong with you? Yelled a kid as he went to hit Issei, who just turned to the right and gave him a powerful knee to the stomach. I won't let them touch that girl, said the hunjied man as he pointed at the girl who was looking at him, blushing. You and how many more? Said one before Issei hit him. Let's go, said the leader as he ran. I know they are 10 years old and Issei is 8, but that's the power of the script. As Issei left, he approached the girl who was still on her knees crying. Issei was annoyed with himself for not arriving sooner so he wouldn't have seen the girl crying. There, don't cry, said the brown-haired boy as he wiped the girl's tears, who blushed. They won't do anything to you, I won't let them touch you, he said as he caressed the girl's cheeks. Thank you, she said as she began to calm down. Excuse me, what's your name? Sorry I didn't introduce myself, he said as he stopped petting her while the blonde pouted adorably and the brunette chuckled at how cute he looked. Nice to meet you, my name is Hyoudou Issei, I hope we can be friends, he said, offering his hand to the blonde, which she gladly accepted. As she stood up, she felt a warmth as soon as she took the boy's hand, but a warmth she had never felt before. That warmth conveyed security, love, affection, and kindness. Thank you, my name is Lefay Pendragon, it's a pleasure likewise, and I hope we can be friends, said the woman identified as Lefay Pendragon. Whoa, a cute name for a cute girl, Issei whispered unconsciously, which Lefay heard and blushed. After the introductions, they both went to play until 8 p.m., which was late. It's very late, I have to go Feichin, said the brown-haired boy as he was stopped by Lefay. Aczino, can you walk me home? She said, blushing furiously. I'll get in trouble for being late, but I can't deny anything to such a cute girl like her. Of course, Feichin. Having said that, Issei accompanied the little blonde girl to her house because she told him that she was afraid that those thugs would return. Although Issei told her that they were only 2 years older than him and 3 years older than her, that instead of relaxing her made her even more afraid because they were older. On the way they talked about trivial things, common among 10 and 9-year-old children. Upon arriving at the Pendragon's house, the girl thanked them with a kiss on the cheek as she went inside. For some strange reason, Issei felt happy, but something told him that if he didn't return quickly, he would suffer. What did they think, that their parents would be dead? Well, no. When Issei returned home, he was scolded by his parents, but when he explained the situation, they understood but said something like, "We already have a daughter-in-law," which made Issei blush even though he didn't know what it meant. The next day, Issei was walking towards elementary school because even though he didn't want to go, he had to. He didn't see that he had bumped into someone on the road. He quickly recovered and offered his hand to the one who had fallen. The person he had knocked down was a girl wearing a wizard's hat, but her uniform made her look very cute even though he hadn't seen her yet. I'm sorry I didn't see where I was going, Issei apologized, helping the girl up, who was surprised to recognize his voice. Aczino. The girl asked as she raised her face, revealing that she was Lefay Pendragon. Feichin. Issei asked as they both looked into each other's eyes. Aczino/Feichin, they both shouted while hugging each other. It was strange, but their hearts told them to hug. What are you doing here, Aczino? Said Lefay, who had broken away from the hug and embraced Issei's left arm. Well, I'm going to elementary school, she said while stating the name of the elementary school. Really? I'm going there too, she said with a smile that melted the brunette's heart. Yes, Issei asked. I'm in 4th grade in Group 4A, they both said at the same time. Both boys continued their walk to school, where to their surprise the teacher was in a good mood and told them they could sit wherever they wanted, so Issei and Lefay sat together to get to know each other better. While this was happening, the teacher told them that there was a new student. When they entered, they saw a beautiful 9-year-old girl with blonde hair styled in 2 drill-shaped pigtails, sapphire blue eyes, and about 137 meters tall. Everyone was amazed at how beautiful the new girl looked, who was nervous. And nice to meet you, my name is Ravel Phoenix, said the still nervous girl. Any questions? Said the teacher as most raised their hands. You, he said, pointing to a boy from Venelana, do you have a boyfriend? Hey, the girl blushed deeply at the question. I don't have a no boyfriend, she said, even more nervous than before. Well, let's stop bothering young Ravel and let her sit down. How about you sit next to Hyoudou Issei? Said the teacher as Issei raised his hand. As she walked towards Aya, she became even more nervous. Upon arriving and sitting down, her blush and nervousness were noticeable. Are you nervous? Issei asked the new girl, who became even more nervous since it was the first time she'd spoken to a man who wasn't family. Don't worry, they won't hurt you. If you need my help, no problem, I'll be with you whenever you want. It might sound a little strange, but I'll always be there for you. I know it might be difficult at first, but you get used to it. Anyway, it's a pleasure, Ravel Phoenix. My name is Hyoudou Issei, Issei said, sitting down and offering his hand to the girl, who accepted it a little calmer. The pleasure is all mine, Issei-senpai, the girl said as she accepted the brunette's handshake. Whenever you need anything, I'll be there for you, Ravelson. Don't hesitate to ask for my help. I hope we can become friends, Ravelson, Issei said, unaware that Lefay was jealous, and every word made Ravel's heart race. Don't call me that, Ravel said, puffing out her right cheek. Don't call me Ravelson, Ravel said, shocking the whole class as she had already gained Issei's trust and vice versa. So Ravelchan, Issei asked, making Ravel blush. Why, yes. Hey Ravelchan, said an extra student who wanted to talk to Ravel just to make her girlfriend because of how cute she was and because she was already somewhat developed for her age. For you and the others, it's Ravel-sama, Ravel said while looking at the boy. Only Issei can call me Ravelchan, she said without realizing what she said. Forget it, she said, blushing intensely. Tsundere was everyone's thought without exception. Well, that was everyone's thought except for a blonde girl who was next to Issei. That Yakitori is stealing all of my Aishin's attention. I mean, he's not mine, I mean he is. I'm not a tsundere. It just bothers me that that blonde just came and stole Aishin's attention, Lefay thought while looking at Ravel. Is something wrong, Feichin? Issei asked when he saw that Lefay had been staring at him. Said the girl as she came out of her thoughts. I don't have anything, Aishin. Ravel viewed this interaction with a touch of jealousy. It bothered her that this girl was stealing Issei's attention for some strange reason. Time skip break. Yes, Ravelchan, said Issei looking at his new partner. Could you join me for lunch? The girl asked nervously, blushing and flustered. I'm sorry, Ravelson, but Aishin will be joining me for lunch, Lefay said as she grabbed Issei's right arm. But I want to be with Issei. What did I say? I can't say that when I've only known him for a few hours, said Ravel. It doesn't matter. It's okay. We'll have lunch together, the three of us, said Issei as he grabbed both girls' hands, making them blush. No one would know that this would be the beginning of a beautiful friendship-love triangle. End of chapter. Life 1, The Passage of Time. The years flew by as if they were seconds. During all this time, Issei developed feelings for Ravel and Lefay that went beyond friendship. But he couldn't tell them how he felt because he risked losing their friendship and ending up heartbroken like what had happened with his childhood friend, who was actually a woman named Shidu Arena who rejected Issei, seeing him only as a friend. Also, to the surprise of both girls, upon meeting the chestnut-eyed boy's parents, they learned that they were the two most famous musicians in Japan. Upon learning this, they understood why Issei loved music so much. Also, at that time, Issei entered an underground competition called Fifth Step. The competition was a freestyle battle, and Issei developed a love for that practice through the influence of his parents. Issei also met a very pretty girl one day at church. She had blonde hair, large breasts, nice hips, and a very nice rear end, according to Hyoudou. He met this girl when he was 13 years old, and it must be said that they got along very well, although the girl was bullied a lot and Issei always defended her. Similarly, Issei made two other friends named Kaori Murayama and Yui Kates, whom he met in middle school. Although life dealt him a bad hand, in the first 2 months of his first year of high school, Ravel told Issei that he had to go abroad for a 4-year exchange program, which made Issei cry like a good boy in love when saying goodbye to one of his best friends, but at least he would return in 4 years. Issei and Lefay graduated from middle school and entered Kuoh Academy, an academy that was only for girls, but with the change of director it became co-ed. After some time together, Issei from the Fifth Step gained a lot of fame and was known for his rhyme of, "They wanted the avalanche, I'll give it to them with rhyme." Thanks to the recognition, Issei submitted his audition for the 2017 Red Bull National Competition. He was 15 years old, and just a year earlier, Quinto Escalon had ended due to internal problems. Actualidad. "Damn son, I swear that one day I will destroy you," were the words of a young man with brown hair. That's right. That young man was Hyoudou Issei, who was waking up because of the sun's rays that passed through the window. "You always say the same thing." Aishin Issei looked down at his chest and saw his best friend Lefay Pendragon in pink pajamas, just waking up on his chest. "Ni Aishin, how did you sleep?" said Lefay when she saw Issei's face. Something else I didn't mention was that when Lefay was 13, her parents were going to leave, but she didn't want to, so Issei's parents told her she could stay with them, which they agreed to. "If I sleep with you, I sleep well, Feichin," Issei said, seeing Lefay's face, which blushed. "You keep getting into my bed while I'm sleeping, huh?" he said, watching the blonde blush even more. "Ha ha ha, you're so cute. I wonder how Ravel would scold you if she were here." "Would definitely be jealous," she said unconsciously because she knew about Ravel's feelings for Issei. "Jealous why?" Issei asked as Lefay realized what she had said. "For stealing your attention," he said, remedying his mistake. "I see." Issei grabbed his phone and checked the time. "Holy shit, Lefay, at 6:47. We're late," he said as he stood up, and Lefay ended up on top of his crotch with her legs wrapped around Issei's back. "Feichin, let's." Issei didn't finish as he received a not-so-hard slap to the mouth. "That's for being foul-mouthed," she said with an angry expression that made her look cute in Issei's words. Afterwards, Lefay went to her room to change, while Issei, after changing, sat on the edge of the bed. "Do you think I should tell them that I was accepted into the Red Bull D-Drag national competition?"
Issei asked, looking at his left arm where a red glove materialized, reaching below his shoulder with golden spikes and a green gem in the center of the back of his hand. Maybe Abo, or let it be a surprise, I don't really know, do what you think is best. Although if it's a surprise, they'll be very happy. But if you tell them, it won't have the same impact, were the words that came out of the gauntlet. And if you noticed, the voice came from the green gem. This glove is mostly known as boosted gear, a medium-class Longinus-type sacred gear, in which resides the soul of the Red Emperor Dragon or the Welsh Dragon, one of the two celestial dragons, Draig Gok. A sacred gear is an artifact given to humans at birth. Obviously, not everyone has one. There are several sacred gears of different types such as elemental, attack, magic, healing, etc. But there are also levels such as a low-class sacred gear like a twice critical, a middle-level sacred gear like the Sword Birth, and a high-class sacred gear. And those that are capable of killing the gods, these are known as Longinus, like the boosted gear, whose wearer will be known as the Sekiryuutei, and the dividing, which is inhabited by the vanishing dragon, the White Emperor Dragon Albion, whose wearer will be known as the Hakuryuko. I think I'll do it as a surprise, but I didn't finish speaking because I heard my mother's voice telling me they were late. Upon arriving, they had a quick breakfast together with Lefay and then proceeded to Kuoh Academy. Pav Issei. After speaking with Draig, I didn't know whether or not to tell my parents that I had been accepted into the Red Bull Batalla de los Gallos National. But what scares me the most is that Lefay will kill me for not telling him and congratulating me on why they will accept me. I don't know what to do, as Joni Beltran would say. I was interrupted by Lefay's beautiful voice. What happened, Fachin? I asked because Lefay was clinging to my arm more than usual. It's just that they stare at me with lust, Lefay said, hiding her face, flushed with embarrassment, against my chest. I hugged her and stroked her hair. Faye, I said as she turned to look at me, lifting her head slightly. I could see her eyes were watery, meaning she was about to cry. Faye is very pretty and everyone knows it, but she cries easily. She's emotionally corruptible. It doesn't matter if they stare at you because you're beautiful. Crouched down until we were face to face and wiped away her tears. It's obvious they were going to look, but I won't let them touch you or take advantage of you, Faye, I said, hugging her. Fin POV Issei. Dog, are you already acting like Romeo? And Phoenix hasn't even arrived yet. If I remember correctly, she'll arrive in a week. Let's see how my little prince reacts, said and thought the last part of the Dragon Gales. Don't say those things, Draig, he said, looking a little embarrassed. So Issei and Lefay went to their classroom, where everyone introduced themselves on the teacher's orders. Nice to meet you, my name is Kaori Murayama, said a beautiful girl with brown hair and two pigtails, amber eyes, larger than average breasts, beautiful legs, and a face that looked like it had been sculpted by the gods themselves. Nice to meet you, my name is Yui Kate, said a pink-haired girl who had a red headband, a little flat but she made up for it with her rear and legs. Hello MMY name is the Lefay Pendragon, said Lefay as she nervously ran, even though she is winged towards Issei and threw herself into his arms. Hee nice to meet you, my name is Hyoudou Issei, I hope we can get along, he said while stroking Lefay's hair. They're getting a little too close, aren't they, Icegun? Murayama said, somewhat annoyed with a gloomy look. I agree, they're very lovey-dovey, aren't they? More than usual, Kade said in the same tone. Issei was about to speak, but he received a message from Ravel on WhatsApp. Ravel, hi Issei, how are you? Upside down face. Hi Ravel, I'm fine, and you, Issei? Ravel, very well, I will soon return to Kuoh and I will be able to see you again and hug you, Issei. Yeah, wait, Issei. Ravel, did you forget I was coming back in a week, Icebaka? Not like you think, I would never forget Ravelchin, Issei. Ravel, okay, well I'll leave you now, my class is about to start. I love you, heart, talk to you later, Issei, upside down face. Yes Ravel, we'll talk later, I love you too, heart, suit heart, bye, Issei. She leaves and turns off her cell phone. Excuse me, young Hyoudou, but have you finished texting yet? Yais, sorry professor, he said apologetically, going to sit down. Sitting. Murayama equals Issei equals Lefay. Equals. Kades. Who were you talking to, I/Chan/Kun? Lefay, Murayama, and Kades asked, looking at Issei with a very saintly smile. It was Ravel, holy shit, these women are terrifying. So you think you're so manly, you turned out to be a prince V. Shut up or I'll tell the dragon you're afraid of. So the classes passed and the first day of school had already ended and he didn't know that he was being watched by a red-haired girl. End of chapter. Story 3, What if Issei fell in love with Seekvaira Agares? Young Father Issei remake. The beginning. Issei's POV. Hello, my name is Issei Hyoudou. I live alone because my parents were murdered by someone who was waiting for us outside a movie theater. Since I have no other family, I live alone, although I survive on a sum of money that my parents left me. Well, I'm signing off. End of Issei's POV. Time skip cemetery 3:00 AM. Oh no, they're going to grape him. You don't know how much I miss you.
Issei said, looking at his parents' gravestones as a small tear escaped. After that, Issei walks on until he sees a man shooting at a woman in an alley. Issei then goes with a 20x30 cm pipe and hits him until he is unconscious. Issei then goes to the woman and says to her, "All right, ma'am," Issei said as he looked at the lady. "Yais," said the lady, "hey, can I ask you a favor?" "Clear." "Take care of my son, his name is Kurigea Kauda," the woman said before dying. "I swear, ma'am, I will protect him with my life," Issei said before leaving. 10 years later, Dad said a small 6-year-old boy with brown hair with blue streaks and violet eyes, "Dad, wake up or you'll be late." Yeah, I'm awake," look said Issei pointing to his eyes. "Well, how did you sleep?" asked the brunette to the other brunette blue Mecha. "Good, Atasan," said the violeted man, smiling. "Okay, let's go downstairs," said the brunette, heading downstairs to take a bath, put on his uniform, and make breakfast. After that, they walked towards their respective academies. Ni Atasan, said Kauda. "So what happened? Don't tell me you fell in love." The brunette said mockingly, making the violeted boy blush. "What? No, I was wondering when you would give me an akasan," said the little one, making the young Sekiryuutei, who still doesn't know his future, shudder. "Why are you asking that, and more importantly, who told you that?" Issei said the last part in a sepulchral voice. "My math teacher, Maria Kachuasaki," said the blue-haired boy, making his father slap his forehead with the palm of his left hand. "Well, we're here," she said, giving the boy a hug and a kiss on the forehead before leaving. How boring. Issei didn't finish because he felt someone cover his eyes from behind. "Who am I?" said a voice that, judging by the sound, belonged to a woman. I know, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, Seekvaira Agares, said the brunette, turning around to see a beautiful redhead with bright pink eyes covered by small glasses, large breasts, a small waist, and a big, round "but what happened" section. Said the honeyed boy, kissing the blonde. "Nothing, I just wanted to see you, darling," Seekvaira said with a smile. Issei met Seekvaira in middle school because his parents sent her to the human world to recruit servants, but she wasn't very good because of her cold nature. However, Issei gradually gained her trust until in their 3rd year of middle school they confessed their feelings and became boyfriend and girlfriend, although Seekvaira still hasn't told him that she is a demon. "Well, how about we go to the academy together?" said the brunette, to which the blonde nodded, then intertwined her arm with his. "At the academy. Look at them, what a lovely couple. She's really hot, it's a shame she has a boyfriend. Kaya, he's very handsome, but he has a girlfriend." That and other comments were made upon seeing the young couple, Issei, Hyoudou, and Seekvaira Agares. "Phew, fufu, we certainly attracted a lot of attention, didn't we, Issei?" said the blonde, laughing a little. "Of course it was obvious because of the beautiful girlfriend I have," Issei said, approaching the blonde. "And to the handsome boyfriend I have," Seekvaira said, kissing Issei. "He threw water on them," said a blonde boy with gray eyes and a mole below his left eye, wearing the academy uniform. "This is Prince Kiba Hyoudou of Kuoh." "Ha ha ha, very funny, Kiba," said Issei, a little annoyed that his moment had been interrupted. "Okay, sorry, but I was just anxious to see you all," Kiba said with his typical smile. "Well, let's go to the assembly, the principal is waiting for us." In the assemblies. After the director's lame speech, everyone went to see the classroom they were assigned. "Let's see," said Issei, Seekvaira, and Kiba as they looked for their classroom. 2C, said the brunette. "I'm 2C, Kiba said, and you, Seekvaira?" "I'm in 2A, said the blonde sadly, since she wouldn't be able to be with her boyfriend. "Well, let's go to our classrooms," said the pink-eyed girl, receiving a kiss from Issei, with Issei and Kiba. "Hey, Issei-kun, this is like when we first met, right?" Kiba said, while the brunette responded with a small laugh. "You're right, I remember when we started high school, all the boys would bully you for being a pretty boy, and you saved me when they were going to try to kill me," Kiba said with a sad and melancholic smile. Flashback. At Kuoh High School, a blonde boy can be seen being beaten up by a group of 3 boys. Why are you doing this to me?" Kiba said while spitting blood. "Because you're a bucking pretty boy," said the one who seemed to be the leader. "Let's go, we'll continue tomorrow." "My shit, I have to go with Boo Boo Butchu," Kiba said before fainting. Time skip half an hour later. What happened?" Kiba said as he opened his eyes, remembering everything that had happened. "Oh, it was that again," the grayed boy said. "Wait, where am I?" Kiba said, seeing that it wasn't a hospital room or the occult research club room. "My house, welcome, Kiba," said a man's voice, startling the blonde boy, who quickly turned around to see a tall, thin, brown-haired boy with honey-colored eyes wearing the same uniform as Kiba, only clean. "You're Hyoudou Issei-kun from my class, right? And the only one who hasn't hit me," Kiba said, the last part in a whisper. "That's right, I'm Hyoudou Issei. If you're wondering what you're doing here, it's simple. I found you outside the high school all beaten up and covered in blood, so I decided to bring you here," said the honeyed boy. "I see, well, I'll say goodbye and thank you for everything," Kiba said as he left the house. "HMPH, as carefree as ever," said Issei as he picked up his pen and started doing his homework. "N.A. Kauda is asleep." The next day, we can see Kiba getting beaten up again, but now by 5 guys. They continued like this until the protagonist arrived. "Hey, why are you hitting him?" said Issei, pushing the leader. "Hey, handsome boy, come on Hyoudou, join us and let's beat him to death," the boy said, while Kiba felt fear because he knew that Issei was the strongest and fastest in the junior high school, and if he hit him, it would be the end. He thought he was going to be hit when he saw how he turned around and approached Kiba. He just closed his eyes and, "Don't worry, Kiba, I won't hit you. You're my friend after all," Issei said, making Kiba's eyes widen as tears streamed down his face since he was and is his only friend. "And you'll see what I'm capable of," Issei said, cracking his knuckles to begin. 5 minutes later, "Kiba, are you all right?" Issei said, looking completely unharmed. "Why yes, thank you," said the blonde boy. "You're welcome, Kiba," said the brunette before leaving with Kiba. From that day on, Issei and Kiba are best friends, but Kiba wants to keep Issei away from the supernatural. End flashback. "I know I still remember that day perfectly," said Issei as they were talking. A very beautiful girl with crimson hair, large breasts, a small waist, and a very nice butt approached Kiba and Issei. "Hello, nice to meet you. My name is Rias Gremory, third-year student and president of the Occult Research Club. It's a pleasure," said the one identified as Rias. Issei saw that she paused, so he told her his name. "Hyoudou Issei, but you can call me Issei or whatever you like, Rya-senpai," said the brunette, making Rias blush since although everyone called him senpai, no one had done so with the affection that he did. "WL, which classroom are you in?" Rias asked, still blushing. "2CY," said the chestnut-tired man doubtfully. "You're welcome," said the redhead. "Well, goodbye, Kiba, I'll see you at the club." "Yes, Butchu," Kiba said, smiling as always. Rias was about to leave, but when she was next to Issei, she said, "Hey, Ice-kun," Rias said, drawing the attention of both Issei and all the other students since Rias was never so nervous, especially around a man. Would you like to take a breath? Would you like to join MY Club?" The redhead exclaimed, surprising everyone with how easily Issei received an invitation to the most popular club in the academy, the Occult Research Club. "Oh my god, I'm going to call it orc equals ass," irritated by the asshole. "Just kidding. Gomen/sorry, but I can't be in a club." "No way, I'll tell Rias on the way out," said Issei, leaving along with Kiba, while Rias was seen all red and steaming from her head. "Rias told me, Rias told me, Rias told me, Rias told me," Rias exclaimed while the girls looked at her with envy and the men sadly. The hours passed until it was time to leave. Is Seekvaira at a club?" the brunette asked. "Why?" the blonde asked, confused. "No, Noma's Issei didn't finish speaking when he saw 2 of the 3 Samas. Of course, Issei doesn't know because he's a complete idiot." "Hello, Seekvaira. Well, Ice-kun, have you thought about it yet?" Rias asked. "Excuse my manners, I'm Aczino Himejima, vice president of the CIO and a third-year student. It's a pleasure, Hyoudou-kun, please take care of me," Aczino said, making all the men angry because she said it in a sweet voice. "And me too," Aknasen said, the chestnut-tired boy, making the black-haired girl blush since no one had ever called her San before, always calling her senpai. "And about the proposal, I'm sorry to say Issei didn't finish because he was knocked down from behind by something, or rather someone." "Dad, how are you?" Kuoh said casually. That little runt is so cocky, receiving surprised looks from the whole school, but the most surprised were Rias and Aczino. "Hello, Kuoh-kun," Seekvaira greeted. "Hello, Wunchin," said the blue-haired brunette, slightly annoying the blonde. "I already told you to call me Akasen after all. I'm your adoptive father's girlfriend." Seekvaira suddenly stopped talking when she heard what she was about to say. "I mean, I'm Issei's girlfriend." This saddened Rias and Aczino because I don't care about that. "Oh, hello, Kuoh-tasen," greeted the newcomer Kiba, only to be hugged by Kuoh. "How have you been? Ice-kun hasn't spoiled you too much, has he?" "I've been doing well, uncle, and my dad spoils me a lot. In fact, we're going to have an anime marathon today. In case you and Akasen want to come." The little guy had revealed that his father is an otaku, like me, to the whole school. "Damn it. Damn, this is messed up," Issei said as he stood up. "Anyway, Rias, I'm not joining your club because of Kuoh. I know it's stupid to use that as an excuse, but I can't leave him alone at daycare. They won't accept him because I'm not of legal age, and my neighbors, well, they've tried to take Kuoh away from me. Besides, they don't exactly like me for being such a young father." As soon as the chestnut-tired man said that, it pierced the hearts of all those present, as he proved to be a good father, especially Rias and Aczino, whose hearts were racing. Rias Nechin, the named one, turned to look at the one responsible for speaking to her, and it was Kuoh. "What is your club about?" "We investigate the occult or the supernatural," Rias said as little stars appeared in the boy's eyes. "My father would be delighted to join your club," said the violet-eyed man. "Wait, what?" was all the brunette said when he saw his son making decisions for him. "Kuoh, you know I can't leave you alone." The violet-eyed boy pouted, something that made all the women blush because of how cute the child was. "We could take care of him," said the redhead, noticing Issei's surrendered gaze, which made her and Aczino smile. "She always smiles, damn it." Ah, sai okay, I have nothing against that logic, said Issei, watching as Aczino approached him. You know, Icegun, maybe I'll give you a small reward for joining us, said the black-haired girl, making the brown-haired boy blush and angering Rias and Seekvaira. Damn, what a deal. Issei said before the blonde pulled his cheeks to the amusement of everyone present, although in the case of the footmen. I want to kill him. This bucking guy is screwed. I'm going to beat the crap out of him. 2 minutes for the baitings. Those and other thoughts were on the minds of the men as they witnessed Issei's closeness to the 3-1 Samas. What do you mean, what a great deal? You fifthrate hypocrite. I'm your girlfriend and you owe me respect. Seekvaira yelled while pulling Issei's cheeks harder. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to, the brunette said to stop being pinched by his girlfriend. Well, he agreed to be in your club, now if you'll excuse me, these 2 otaku. Seekvaira nudges him. 3 otaku. Kiba raises his hand. No bucking way. 4 otakus are going to watch a marathon of some stupid anime. That's what Issei said, shouted let's go already, he said, and then left. But Rias Nechen, do you want to be my Akasin? The boy asked innocently, watching as his father grabbed him and left with his girlfriend and best friend. Author's notes. I hope you enjoy this chapter since it took me a long time, and besides being so stupid, it was difficult for me to come up with ideas for the development. Clue. If you're wondering what this is, well, this is a section where you'll have to guess what will happen in the next chapter. Clues. Boosted gear. Love. A nosy dwarf. Longinus. End of clues. Butchu's commitments. ABCD people talking. ABCD people thinking. Apt being sealed or speaking. ABCD being powerful speaking. ABCD being powerful speaking. ABCD dreams or flashbacks. ABCD author's note. ABCD sacred gears, magic and weapons. ABCD phones and holograms. ABCD actions. Apt balance break and techniques. ABCD titles and pieces. Now for the chapter. POVs. Oh no, I can't believe how all this happened, I said, looking at a forest torn to pieces next to a park. I don't know, so why did you overuse the BOOSTD gear? Why, oh you idiot, said a very angry Seekvaira. You might be wondering what happened here. Flashback 1 week ago. Issei was walking through the streets of Kuoh because he was bored, so he decided to go to Akihabara. Luckily, Kiba stayed overnight at his house because of a team project and was now taking care of Kauda, and his girlfriend had gone to see a movie with Rias and Sona. I wonder what will happen, she said, unaware that that word would get her into a huge problem. Do you want to see what happens? Asked a man with black wings. And who the hell are you? Issei asked, but his answer was a spear of light that pierced his stomach. Gwog, what the hell, Gwog, oh no, said Issei before collapsing exhausted. Then the Gremory nobility arrives, turning Issei into a demon and Rias Gremory's pawn, thus discovering the supernatural. Finflashback. Sorry, D-Drag ideas, asked the Castellan to a quantilete that he had on his left arm that reached to his shoulder, red in color, with a gem in his hand and some golden spikes. Let me think, oh yeah, use the dragon shoot with 10 boost, said the celestial dragon. Alright now, D-Drag. He shouted, causing the gem on the gauntlet to start parabing as it said. Boost, 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 boost. Explosion. That's what the gauntlet said, and then Issei said. Dragon shoot, Issei shouted, causing a small red sphere to form from the glove, which he then launched towards a mountain, destroying about 6 or 9 of them. Oops, I got carried away, said a nervous Issei, looking down at his companions. Ara Icegun is making a lot of mistakes, I know, why don't we have some fun, Issei said Aczino. Aknason, I would really like to, but unfortunately I have a girlfriend, said the brunette, only to be silenced by the black-haired girl. Issei, did you know that demons can have multiple wives, and that being part dragon allows you to have a harem? Said the violeted girl. Putting it that way, there's no problem, thought Hyoudou. Tusk, hey Hyoudou, come here, said Saji Genshiro, Sona Sitri's pawn and wielder of one of Vitra's fragments. You might wonder why he's annoyed that the girls pay more attention to Issei than to him. Well, that's because ever since Issei joined the supernatural world, they always pay more attention to him than to Saji. Besides, Saji is in love with Rhea, Sona, Momo, and Tamo. He already knew about Rhea, and at first he was very upset that she almost raped him, making her disgusted by being around him. As for the others, they fell in love with the Hunjid boy when he entered the supernatural world, and it didn't help that he wielded the boosted gear, a sacred gear better than Vitra's absorption line, since, according to D-Drag, it's better than Vitra. Hyoudou, I'm going to ask you something. Saying that, the chestnut-tired man looked at him doubtfully. Besides Seekvaira-senpai, Saji said angrily, since he loved Seekvaira and at first, upon learning that he had a boyfriend, he became very arrogant since according to him, Issei was human and the wielder of a dragon, but everything changed when he learned that he possessed the sacred gear of a celestial dragon, the dragon of domination, D-Drag the Welsh dragon. Who else are you in love with? Swallows from Rias Butchu, Aknason, Sona Kacho, Rayasan, Hanakasan, Tomochin, and Kiyoma Besenpai, said the brunette, making the blonde think that he has no chance against the brunette since Issei is better than him in magic, speed, hand-to-hand combat, ranged combat, handling of the sacred gear, and is more handsome and intelligent. Well, bye Saji, said Issei as he left since training was over. The next day, everyone in the CIO room was serious, as Razor Phoenix and his entire entourage stood before them, though Ravel kept glancing at Issei, blushing. What's so important about that? Well, he's Rias' fiancé. I already told you I'm not going to marry you, Rias said with some tears in her eyes. I don't care, Razor said emotionlessly. This wedding isn't going to happen, Issei said, surprising everyone. Ha, you fifth-rate demon. Razor said arrogantly. Damn, who says that? Yakitori, no offense to your sister, said Issei, making those present laugh while Razor got angry. Ravel attacks. Don't you know how to defend yourself and need help from your beautiful sister? Said Issei while Ravel had fallen in love with Issei and Razor was more than angry. We'll have a rating game, Razor said. Ravel, Issei called to Ravel, who looked surprised. Do you want to go on a date with me? End of chapter. Harem. By Whitehorse One Follow. Cheryl. This is the harem. Seekvaira Agares Gabriel Ravel Phoenix Rias Gremory Aczino Heimjima Sona Sitri Momo Hanakai Valerie Teps Valier Lucifer Fem Vali Rhea Kusaka Kuroka Lavinia Rinisina Kachuasaki Lefei Pendragon Serafal Leviathan Yasaka. And that's the whole harem, and I'm just telling you that the way it's written isn't the way it's going to be arranged in the harem. For example, Gabriel is above Penemu, but Issei can add Penemu to the harem first, or Lefei, who is at the bottom. That's what I mean, no more filler by. Butchu's commitment Pai T, too. After training, Issei noticed Rias was very distracted, to the point of not paying attention when they called her. Butchu is like this because of the engagement, right? Issei asked. That's right, Issei, Rias admitted. I'm worried we'll lose. No, I'm afraid, she clarified, referring to the fear of losing to Razor. Obviously, Rias was scared because she didn't want to spend the rest of her life with a jerk like Razor, and even less did she want to have Hex with him. Don't worry, President, I swear I will lead you to victory, Issei said with a determined voice and face, his fist clenched. Issei, thank you, but that wouldn't change the fact that they only see me as a trophy, a Hex toy, or as a Gremory, said Rias, depressed. A Gremory? Issei didn't understand. I mean, they only see me because of my last name. To men, I'm just a Gremory. Nobody sees me as Rias, they only see me as Rias Gremory, Rias said, depressed. I like her just the way she is, Issei said as Rias suddenly turned around, staring intently into his eyes. I love Rias with her weaknesses, her virtues and flaws. To me, Rias is a beautiful, fun, bossy, and very kind woman, although a little capricious, Issei said as Rias walked towards him with her head down. President. Rias kept walking without looking up until she reached Issei, and suddenly she kissed him, a kiss right on the mouth. Issei was petrified because there was no one but Seekvaira and one other woman. Rias, on the other hand, was crying because it was her first kiss and she gave it to the right person, according to her. About 3 minutes passed and Rias and Issei separated, both blushing deeply. Rias. Issei was speechless because Rias' kiss came out of nowhere. I've already decided, Rias said while Issei didn't know what she meant. Issei didn't understand. I mean, I've already decided who I'll give my heart to, Rias said as she kissed Issei again. Hoo. Issei still didn't understand. You'll find out later, Rias said, winking at him. Rias, Issei thought as he touched his lip. Rating game day, the boys were already at the occult club while everyone was gathered. Issei and Kauta, Rias asked. I left him with Seekvaira, Issei said, still blushing from the previous night. Then Grayfia appeared through a magic circle. Are you ready? Yes, Grayfia-sama, said Rias while she looked at Issei's chest and saw a large bulge in his pants, while Grayfia happened to look down and blushed a lot when she saw that monster. Let's go, Grayfia said, hiding her blush, and led them to the fighting arena, rating game location. Did the circle fail? Issei asked as they were still in the occult club. No, Mr. Hyoudou, Mr. Sirzechs decided it should be in an exact replica of Kuoh Academy, Grayfia said, her blush fading. I see, said Issei. After that, Grayfia left to let them prepare. Aczino, you set traps all over the place, Rias said as she handed Aczino a small device that she put in her left ear. Hyoudou, you go set traps in the forest, Rias said as she gave him the same treatment as Aczino. Kaneko, Issei, you two will be in charge of close combat, said Rias as Kaneko left, and when Issei was about to do the same, Rias stopped him. Issei, come here, said Rias. What happened, Rias? Issei asked as Rias pointed to her thighs and asked him to lie down. Issei, when I reincarnated you as a demon, your power was too great for a mere pawn, so I had to use all 8 of them on you. When I did, I had to seal your power in 7 parts. Since you've evolved too much, I'll break one of the seals, Rias said, placing her hand on Issei's forehead. Instead of breaking 1 seal, 2 broke, much to Rias' surprise. What's wrong, Rias? Issei said, hugging Rias' thighs. It's just that Rias didn't finish when Grayfia's voice was heard. They can now start competing to decide the winner. At that moment, Issei got up and ran outside with Kaneko. I hope we win, said Kaneko. I assure you we're going to win, Issei said, trying to motivate himself. Issei, it would be best if they went to the assembly or the gym first. Rias said through the device she gave to Issei. Okay, Rias, Issei said to Kaneko as they headed to the assembly. I've already decided. I mean, I already know who to give my heart to. I swear I'll do anything to keep that smile on your face and make you the happiest woman in the universe. End of chapter. Did we lose? Come out of hiding, you pieces of Rias Gremory-sama, shouted a black-haired girl wearing a blue kimono. Sorry, I don't remember the names of the razor pieces. It's been a while since I watched the first season. Sorry. What? I knew it wouldn't be easy to go unnoticed, said the Sekiryuutei, emerging from his hiding place with the tower. 3 pawns in a tower isn't very smart of Razor to send 4 pieces just for a pawn in a tower, said the white-haired girl upon seeing her rivals. We don't care what you say, I still remember your audacity in asking Ravel-sama out, commented a small green-haired girl. Even Yakitori turned out to be a pedophile, he said, disgusted by the perversion it had reached. Flashback. Ravel, would you like to go out with me? Was the question that left everyone speechless while the aforementioned just let out steam from her ears and was blushing to atomic levels. Ha 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 ha. Was the laughter of the entire Phoenix clan except for one blonde. B, but what are you saying, Sama? Yes, we just met, but I accept, she said to everyone's surprise. Idiot, you already made my little sister fall. I'll make sure to kill you in the raiding game, Razor said, extremely angry. Would you be capable of killing your brother-in-law? Issei said, mocking Razor. Even if an eternity passed, you wouldn't be able to match me, you idiot. Finn Flassaback. Obviously, I had to send someone to do his job, said the brown-haired boy as he summoned his sacred gear. Well, they'll be my guinea pigs with my new technique. Kaneko, haste, take charge of the tower, said Issei, receiving a nod from his kuhai. Here Issei didn't get to meet Asia because he fell asleep that day, so Rainier obtained Asia's sacred gear. A tragic end for the nun. That's why she didn't test her new technique on anyone. See. As if he were a horse at a very good speed, he approached his rivals, touching them without them being able to do anything. Explosion break, he said as a magic circle appeared on each girl's shoulder, and with a flash it exploded as the girls disappeared. 3 pawns of Razor Phoenix have been eliminated. That was fast, very fast, he said to himself as he watched Kaneko have some difficulty. He raised his sacred gear while a green light emanated from the gem of the boosted gear as he said. Boost, 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 boost. Explosion. Boosted gear gift transferentia. Thus all the accumulated energy went directly to Kaneko's body, causing her to knock out her rival with one blow. Well, let's get out of here, said the brunette as they left the building, but they were surprised when Aczino launched a projectile that caused the building they had just come out of to explode. Ara Ice-kun, you were very quick to finish off your rivals. Maybe your senpai will give you a reward, Aczino said, but then someone launched a magic attack towards Issei and Kaneko. Issei was more alert and managed to grab Kaneko, jumping forward and dodging the attack. Ara, the bomb queen was mean to my kuhai. I think that deserves a punishment. Are you okay, Kaneko? Issei asked, letting go of the white-haired girl. Yes, thanks to Ai-senpai, the white-haired girl said gratefully as she turned to look at the black-haired girl. We'll leave it to you, Akino-senpai said Kakino as she looked at Issei, who was staring intently at Yubaluna but not in a perverted way. You have a phoenix tear, right? He said, impressed to the trio of girls. What? Yubaluna was shocked to learn of his plan. Through a technique I perfected and developed through my training called Dragon's Gaze, he said as he left, but not before telling his senpai something. The tear is in his left pocket, he finished, as he left with Kaneko. The two arrived without problems at the center of campus while watching Kiba arrive, where together they had a tough battle against Razor's missing pieces. In the end, only Razor and Ravel remained on his side, and on Ria's side, only Issei, Aczino, Kaneko, and Kiba remained. Surrender, Razor, we are the majority, Rias said arrogantly, looking at Razor. That can change, he said as he pulled out a large sphere of fire which, when he launched it, split into 3 parts that impacted Kiba, Kaneko, and Aczino, knocking them out. A knight, a rook, and a queen belonging to Ria's Gremory have been eliminated. Damn it, well, time to use the techniques I invented in my training, Dragon Flame, he said as a great burst of fire shot out of his mouth and burned Razor. If I weren't a phoenix, you would have defeated me, Razor said, emerging from the fire. Damn it, Issei whispered as Rias, not wanting to endanger him, yelled, Flame Ring. As Razor was trapped in a dark red circle of fire and vaporized. That won't be enough, Welsh Dragon shot. And so he continued until he was exhausted. Did I defeat him? That question remained in Issei's mind. You surprised me, kid, but I'm stronger than you, said the phoenix, emerging from a cloud of smoke. It's my turn, he said as he shot out like a bullet, severely striking Issei in the stomach, causing him to cough up a lot of blood. I wanted to be merciful, but you left me no choice, he said as Issei slowly collapsed. When I marry Rias, I'll train you to become a great demon and a great tool. I won't give up as long as I can still close my fist. I will keep fighting, he said, throwing a punch with his left fist towards the blonde boy who dodged it and legally punched Issei in the face, grabbing him by the shoulders of his shirt to pull him back and giving him another knee to the stomach. Look at you, a complete mess, he said while throwing fireballs as Ravel watched the scene with pity and almost crying for some reason, and Rias was crying her eyes out watching Issei's anal massacre. Stop, Razor. I give up. The redhead threw herself into Issei's arms. You did very well, but you've reached your limit. She shed more tears as she saw the state of her pawn. Have a phoenix tear, Ravel said, on the verge of tears as she looked at Issei. You gave it your all in this battle. I hope you're feeling better for our friendly date. Issei woke up suddenly with a large bandage running from under his right arm to his left shoulder. What happened? He was still confused in his room. So young Issei has awakened, Grayfia, the Gremory family maid, remarked. What happened? Did we win? Issei asked, hoping for a positive answer. No, Issei fell silent in shock upon hearing that. But how? The bearer of the red dragon did not understand his imminent defeat because they had the advantage, since he does not remember anything more than that it was everyone against only Razor. Rias Ajao-sama surrendered. He finished with those words while the brunette had his eyes wide open. What about her? Issei was in complete shock upon hearing those words. How could she give up if she longed to win? End. Story 4. What if Issei got teleported to another timeline after betrayal? Hyoudou Issei, Another Life. Life 01, A New World and a Great Battle, Dialogue Pattern. Hala personage, Boosted Gear over Boosted Drag Albion. Drag, can you hear me? Thoughts, author's notes. Hyoudou Issei was about to die until a portal absorbed him, leaving him in a very different state. Where am I? Issei asked until. I don't know, Habo said Drag. Drag, you had gone. The brunette asked. I decided to stay with you, said the Welsh dragon. Thank you, friend, said the chestnut-haired man. You're welcome, Issei, said the dragon. At that moment, Issei got up, and since the place was exactly Kuoh City, well, it is Kuoh. Issei wasted no time heading to the underworld to investigate. He learned that Trihexa had not yet been released. Rizevim was free, although he didn't know how to remove the seal from Trihexa about its female version, Volleys, and that there was a faction meeting in 2 hours. So Issei took the opportunity to head to the place where Rizevim was. Underworld, place of the meeting. On the side of the angels were the Overlord of Heaven Michael, the Seraph of Heaven Gabriel, and Irina. Among the fallen were Azazel, the Kadri Barakil, Penemu, and Aczino. De los demonios esta Sirzechs, Grayfia, Serafal Leviathan, El Sequido de Sona, El Sequido Gremory, Serjorg Lefay, Kuroka y la version feminina de Issei y Vali, Izumi Hyoudou y Valerie Lucifer. Well, thank you all for coming. The reason for this meeting is to figure out what we're going to do about Rizevim and the Chaos Brigade, said the red-haired demon. I say we send the celestial dragons to kill him. I mean, after all, they're the ones who can at least put up a fight for a few minutes while we come up with a plan, said Azazel. No, we have to come up with a plan. Azazel, we can't abuse Izumi and Valerie just because they have the celestial dragons, the overlord of the sky pointed out. Well, you're right, said the fallen man. Then he began to visualize a magic circle with a scene that was anything but pretty. Help me, a crazy man wants to kill me, said Rizevim. Nobody could believe what they were seeing, a dead, blood-covered Rizevim. Then they saw a person with a crimson-red sword like Black Goku's from Dragon Ball Super. At that moment, Issei appeared at the meeting place through a magic circle. Hello, it seems I'm late to the party, said Issei. Who are you? Gabriel said, terrified. Oh, Gabachin, how are you? Asked the brunette. Okay, thanks, she said, blushing at how Issei had spoken to her. Well, to answer your question, I am Issei Hyoudou. Are you by any chance related to Izumi-kun? Serafal asked. At that moment, Issei turns to look at the aforementioned light redhead, and that's what her hair will be like, and albino. Sekiryuutei and Hakuruka, said the chestnut-haired man. We won't let you hurt them, Rias said. Don't worry, I won't do anything to them, said the chestnut-haired man. Issei was getting closer to Izumi until. You're a dragon, said Offeyes. How did you know? Issei asked. Your aura gives you away. It's the aura of the Sekiryuutei, Offeyes said, surprising everyone, especially a certain brunette. Yeah, I see you figured it out, as perceptive as ever, Offeyes. How can you know that if we barely know each other? It's because I'm from this world but from another dimension, Issei said. Like from another dimension? Valerie asked. Well, Issei said, explaining everything that happened, the betrayal, the dragon's fall, and how he arrived. That's all, Issei said, making everyone present feel bad, especially the Gremorys. Well, I'm leaving, said the chestnut-haired man. Wait, where are you going? Izumi and Valerie asked at the same time. I'll have to find somewhere to stay, Issei said. Why don't you stay with me at my house? Izumi said to Issei, making Saji angry. Damn bitch, you reject me every day, and then you meet a dragon who's another fifth-rate Sekiryuutei, and you accept him like it's nothing, Saji said angrily, trying to hit Izumi, but he was stopped by Issei. Don't you know that hitting women is rude? Issei said, intimidating everyone. Who do you think you are, you fourth-rate little dragon? Saji said, I challenge you to a cowardly duel. If I win, I keep Izumi, and if I lose, I leave her with you. Saji terrified Izumi until Issei approached and grabbed her hand. Don't worry, I won't lose, Issei said with a warm smile that made all the women present blush. I accept the duel, Saji Genshiro, and I don't remember how to spell it or if it's his last name. Underworld Issei versus Saji Battleground. Saji, how about a duel to the death, said the chestnut-haired man. All right, said Saji as he summoned his sacred gear. Okay, boosted gear, Issei said, astonishing everyone. Boosted gear, said the Welsh dragon. All right, Saji, use your balance break because I'm not going to hold back and I'll use all my armor, Issei said, astonishing everyone since Izumi barely reached the overboosted balance break. I don't have the balance break, said Saji, disappointing everyone since he had told them that he could use the full balance break. Disappointing. Well, I'll use my balance break first. Ready, Drake, said the chestnut-haired man. Yes, partner, said the dragon. Welsh dragon. Balance break, said Drake, making armor appear. This is the balance break, Issei said. How handsome and strong too, said all the women, but the ones who surprised and angered some men the most were Gabriel and Penemu. Well, come here or you'll get all wrinkled, you little faggot, Issei said, making Saji angry. I'm going to kill you, you bastard, Saji said as he went to attack Issei. I'll be waiting for you here, faggot, Issei said then. Dragon Shott. The dragon's voice was heard so that Saji received the attack full force, leaving him badly injured. Who's the weak one here? Issei said mockingly. Now you'll see, Saji said, moving closer but stopped because he heard Issei reciting a chant unknown to everyone, especially Izumi's Drake, since he had never heard such a chant, although it resembled that of the Juggernaut Drive. That chant sounds like the one from Juggernaut Drive, said Izumi's Drake, terrifying everyone. N.A. read the chant horizontally because I write my stories horizontally. So when you read it vertically it doesn't look right, so read the Crimson Queen's chant horizontally. I who am about to awaken am the Sekiryuutei who has discarded the principles of domination. I will walk the path of justice carrying dreams and indestructible hope, and I promise you all, I will show them the future that shines in the true Crimson Light, Crimson Queen. Thus the armor of the balance break changed to another one that was redder and with the wings of the Hakuruko. What shape is that? Izumi asked. This, my friends, is the Crimson Queen. I obtained it in my raiding game against Ser Yorg Bale, right when I was about to use the Juggernaut Drive, but I remembered that I was fighting for the dreams of the children, my dreams and the dreams of Rias Gremory, so I did this chant and this armor appeared, said Issei, surprising everyone and making a certain redhead blush while receiving hateful and jealous looks from the other women. Let's keep going, right, or are you going to get all wrinkled? Issei said, seeing Saji's legs trembling. Of course not, I am coming, said Saji, frightened, trying to attack him. Come on, or don't you have the guts to face me anymore? Issei's comment, besides angering Saji, made everyone else laugh. You'll see, Saji said, punching Issei in the face. I did it, Saji exclaimed. But it didn't last long as he saw that Issei didn't even flinch. That's it, now you'll see, said Issei as two cannons emerged from his back. Now yes, Crimson Boosted. Thunder blasted boosted. Saji revideo esse attack por toda paraquesi redivio demasiado dable. Chow come, you're so strong. Saji said, have you already given up? Issei asked. Of course I'm not going to kill you, said Saji, opening a jar of phoenix tears. It's time to bring to light the powers of OPHIS and GRED Red, said Issei, surprising everyone. How did you get them? Valerie asked. Well, you see, when I died from Samuel's blood, Ophis and Gred Red made a body for me with Gred Red's flesh and the powers of both dragon gods. After that, everyone looked at Ophis, who was surprised to have done that according to Issei's world, until they felt a strong pressure of power. When they turned around, they saw Issei doing another chant. I, the Crimson Dragon, that dwells within me. Awaken from your dominions. It was the chant that Issei was saying until Ophis suddenly joined in the chant. The Crimson Dragon that I possess. Within me rise up. To become a king. The Black God of Infinity. The glorious Red God of Dreams, both watching over the forbidden existence. We will become one that transcends limits. We will dance like a glow. Inside hell. Diabolos dragon gods. Issei screamed, causing armor to appear. Ha 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 ha, what do you think, huh? Saji, come on, let's play, said Issei, looking at the still weak and fearful Saji. Of course I'm going to fight, Saji said, punching Issei. Ya ven saji, Issei shouts Infinite Blaster. Infinite Blaster, after saying that, two cannons on his wings fired a crimson and black beam, hitting Saji directly. Well, last words. I hope you die, Saji said, then saw Issei using Infinite Blasters again. So the cannons fired, killing Saji and leaving the women more than happy since Saji always harassed them, tried to grape them. And when they were going to say yes to someone they liked in their declaration, he always said, don't go near them anymore, they are mine. All right, time to eat, said Issei, making his armor disappear and creating a magic circle to leave, but... Wait, Icegun, said a shy Gabriel, Penemu, Izumi, Valerie, Rias, and Aczino. What happened? The brunette asked, puzzled. Would you like to eat with the 6 of us, please? They said as Ravel, Rosuus, and Kuroka joined them. Why not? After all, it's better this way, said Issei. Okay, let's eat, said a very cheerful Gabriel. Gabriel, can I give you a gift for being such a beautiful angel? Asked the brunette. Yes, she said before her lips fell silent as Issei kissed her. They continued like this for a few minutes while their tongues battled to see who could get it in, all under the jealous gaze of all the girls. Ah, you like it. Issei said, his breath ragged. Yes, my cute Icejin, she said as she kissed Issei again. Life 02, combat against Valerie's fiancé Lucifer. 2 weeks had passed since Issei's arrival. Upon arriving at Izumi's house, he told his parents everything. Although Issei decided not to have a harem, he didn't give a damn and joined Penemu, Gabriel, Yasaka, and Valerie. At this moment, Issei was in the occult club with 4 members of his new harem. Aver darling diala, said Gabriel as she fed Issei. Don't hog it, little dove, Penemu said as she kissed Issei. Moo, I want to kiss him too, Valerie said, kissing the brunette. Me too, said Yasaka, doing the same. I'm missing, said Gabriel as he kissed Issei. Well, how about we have some fun? The brunette said with a lustful smile until... A magic circle appeared, illuminating the entire room. After the circle closed, it revealed a man of about 26 years old with black hair and green eyes. All right, Valerie, let's go, said the dark-haired man, making Valerie and Issei angry. Tusk, Valerie, who's the brunette you were kissing? Said the dark-haired man. Well, you don't give a damn, do you? Said the brunette, making Penemu and Gabriel giggle. Tusk, damn low class, find your place. Idiot, he couldn't finish because Issei punched him in the face, sending him flying. If you don't know, you piece of trash, I'm supreme class, you stupid upper class, Issei said, releasing some power that made the black-haired boy believe him. And who is he? Asked the dark-haired man. My name is Issei Hyoudou, current Sekiryuutei, the most powerful of all time, the most badass here and in the universe. And the most badass, said the brunette, and my 2 women are Cotter Penemu and Seraphim of the Sky Gabriel. So stop staring at their breasts and say your name, since the only one who can look at them, touch them, or suck on them is me, said the brunette, making both of them blush with embarrassment, and knowing that their beloved was protecting them. Well, my name is Kuragain Ash, said the dark-haired man. Sorry about the name, I'm not very good at coming up with them. I see, said the brunette. Well, what do you want? I've come for Valerie to get married, Ash said. Yeah, well, she's in my harem, okay, idiot, Issei said. How about a rating game between your brat and me? Well, but a duel to the death, said Issei. I accept, said the dark-haired man. Well, let's go to the pocket dimension. He finished by taking Issei to a pocket dimension while their fight was broadcast through. Supernatural world, the underworld heaven, Gregory Kyoto. Begin, Issei said. Balance break. Welsh dragon balance break, said D-Drake, appearing with the balance break. Although something that surprised many is that with just the balance break he equaled or surpassed the 4 Maoists together. Okay, come in, when I kill you I'll grape your girls, especially Gabriel and PNMUSBIGBRSTD girls. The green-eyed boy couldn't finish because Issei punched him in the stomach, making him spit blood. What but how? Ash said, seeing the blood coming out of his mouth. Kuragainson, you've dug your own grave by speaking like that about my Penemu and Gabriel, said the honeyed man, punching him in the face and sending him flying. He then appeared below him and kicked him, sending him flying into the sky at divine speed, appearing above Ash. Clasped his hands together and punched him, sending him crashing to the ground. Well, you give up, trash. I'll never kill you, you bastard. Before finishing, Issei with divine speed struck the black-haired man, causing him to spit out a large amount of blood. Cough, cough, how cough did I lose, cough, lose, he said before falling unconscious, witnessed by all the demons, fallen angels, yokai, and angels. Tusk, trash, Issei said, making his armor disappear. D-Drake, you felt it, didn't you? Oh my god, I'm so screwed, Issei. That energy is from Tiamat, the craziest woman I've ever met in my life. She has killed many of my holders, said the Welsh dragon. So what did you do to him? D-Drake, Issei said with boredom. Let's just say I did several things to him. First, I beat him in a fight and refused to be his partner. Second, I asked him for some things that are invaluable and never returned them. And lastly, Swallows, I said many bad things to him, like that he was trash compared to me and that I would never be the partner of someone so weak, said the dragon. You imbecile, I can't believe you did that, and to a woman no less. You're a real asshole, the brunette said angrily. Gomin / I'm sorry, it's just that back then I was very grumpy, just like Albion, said the Welsh dragon. I'm going to fix things, Issei said, spreading his dragon wings and beginning to fly under everyone's gaze. No, I won't let you go, said the red dragon. Make me, bro, Issei said mockingly as he activated his balance break. Time skip our cave. We can see Issei standing in front of a sky blue dragon. Tiamat, stop this, said the Hundied one, watching as the dragon only tried to kick him off. Well, I have no other choice, dragon shoot, he said, launching a dragon shoot at Tiamat that left her defeated. Oh okay, D-Drag, you win, said the dragon as she tried to catch her breath. I won't do anything to you, and my name is Hyoudou Issei, Issei said, then turned his back on her and spread his dragon wings. See you, Tiamat. 1 month later, Ash can be seen challenging Issei again in the courtyard of Kuoh Academy. But I already beat you, you idiot, were Issei's words, leaving everyone expectant, so that duel wasn't official. You know you're a coward, right? Issei said quickly, making the way he said it look comical. Don't tell me you're scared, he said as he watched Issei leave with Valerie. When I marry her, I'll grape her so much she'll forget about you, he said as Issei and Valerie froze and the other students looked at him with disgust. Everything was pure silence, although with divine speed Issei appeared in front of Ash saying to him, look, you piece of scum, I won't let you do anything to Valerie, so this battle is right now, and last time I let you live, but this time I'm not going to be so flexible, said Issei with D-Drag's voice. Okay, said the black-haired man, creating a dome so that only they and the factions could see them. Welsh Dragon Balance Breaker was D-Drag's heartrending cry while Ash was filled with fear. Look, you idiot, this is what happens when you bother a dragon. I, the one who awakens. I am the dragon who stole the principles of domination from God. I am the red dragon of domination. Infinity envies me, and I despise sleep. I will take care of a dirt in the deepest part of Crimson Purgatory. Juggernaut drives. What? Upon finishing that chant, Issei transformed into a red dragon nearly 20 meters tall. Now then, Issei said, and with his claws he ripped off Ash's arm, followed by vomiting that left him half dead. Boost 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 explosion Longinus smasher. A beam shot from Issei's chest, killing the boy instantly. Thus Issei transformed back from Juggernaut. End of chapter. Nah, just kidding. Issei, Valerie said as she went and kissed Issei. I love you, the girl said while she was pregnant with Issei and crying. That engagement is broken, Valerie, Issei said before fainting. End of chapter. Harem. Seekvaira Agares. Valerie. Yesaka. Penamu. Gabriel. Izumi. Lafaz. Ravel. Tiamat. Venelana. Rosues. Lavinia. Yesaka. Serafal. Lefay. Kyomabe. Chapter 1 Alternatives. In Kuoh, you can see a young, brown-haired man who isn't very happy since the war with Trihexa. His girls are no longer with him. Vali, Saji, and Kiba pay more attention to their own things. The leaders spend all their time working, and his parents love the girls more than him. Yes, definitely everything was sad for the Hunjid boy, although the only person who stayed with him was Lavinia Rini, his best friend and secret love. They were always together, causing Vali's jealousy. He forced Issei and Lavinia to separate, but they ignored him, unaware that it would cost them dearly. The brunette thought he could be happy with his harem, but no. He was heading home, the Hyoudou residence, a house with 7 floors and 3 underground floors. He was at the entrance. He didn't want to go in because he knew something bad was going to happen to him. Ignoring that feeling, he went inside and headed for the stairs. The higher he climbed, the more noises he heard. He didn't know what it was, but with his dragon senses, he could tell what it was: moans. Super agitated, he went up the stairs, bumping into his bedroom door. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Right in his bed were Rias Gremory, Aczino Heimjima, Asia Argento, Zenovia Quarta, Irina Shidu, Kaneko Taoju, Tsubaki Shinra, Sona Sitri, and Kayori Murayama having hex with the one he believed to be his brother-rival friend. Vali Lucifer, was all the brunette said before closing his bedroom door with tears in his eyes. Just as the chestnut-haired boy said, Hyoudou Issei saw how the one he considered his brother, Vali Lucifer, was having hex with all his girls. He knew it was his revenge for what happened to Lavinia. The only solution he found was to flee. I flee like a coward. Issei's POV. Coward, said a voice in my mind. You're a damn coward, said another voice. All you know how to do is run away. You're a disgrace, as Sekiryuutei, said a voice I recognized. Those were my senpais. What did you want me to do? I yelled, seeing a purple aura pass through me and my eyes turn dark purple. This is the Juggernaut drive. Become the dragon of domination. Burn them all in the crimson purgatory. I slowly feel myself losing my sanity. As the curse I had banished returns, I feel that I want to kill Vali Lucifer. If we have to kill Vali Lucifer, he shouted without knowing what he was saying. I, the one who has awakened. I am the celestial dragon who stole the principles of God's dominions. I laugh at infinity and sleep troubles me. I will become the red dragon of domination, and I will plunge you into the depths of crimson purgatory. Juggernaut drives. After saying that, I turn into a huge dragon. I see the DXD group and that idiot volley approaching me. Issei, stop, I see how the menstrual hair yells at me. Shut up, you lapdog. What do you think, you bunch of sluts? I didn't see you all having hex with this wannabe man. I said, watching them cry. The leaders and company were paralyzed. Lavinia was disgusted and looking at me with concern, and that bucking volley had a stupid smile on his face. I see you saw what I did to your precious females. Unfortunately, they are now my bitches. I see that as he says that a lightning bolt, an ice stake, power of destruction, and a spear of light are sent towards Volley, leaving him very injured. How dare you do that to Aczino? I saw Seraphal hit Volley. Damn you, after I raised you like this, you betray us. I see that Azazel is the angriest. Damn silky silver-haired Barakilson shoots sacred lightning at him. You stupid shitty climber, Sirzechs said, disintegrating parts of his body with his magic. Icegun, finish him off, he told me in a sepulchral voice. It will be a pleasure, I say, watching as the imbecile tries to stand up. Boost, 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 Longinus SMACHER Drake said, causing the green gem on my chest to glow and unleash a powerful beam that killed Volley. Finally, I finished, transforming back into a human. Only this time I suddenly spat blood, though no one saw since I was far away. Drake, what's wrong? End of Issei's POV. I'm sorry, partner, but you've fallen into the dragon's fall. It's a disease that occurs when a very strong love is unrequited or a partner cheats on you. Your power turns into poison, which is why it slowly kills you. But since almost everyone cheated on you, I say you have 10 months left, said the Welsh dragon, surprising the chestnut-tired man. Is there a cure? The chestnut-tired man asked. Yes, but the side effect is that you'll go into heat for 10 months. No problem. Thus Issei was freed from the fall of the dragon, and in those 10 months Issei married Lavinia, Kuroka, Kuoh, Abe, Seekvaira, Agares, Penemu, Gabriel, Yasaka, Lefay, Rosues, Valerie, Teps, and Seraphal, where he had offspring with each one. With Lavinia he had a daughter with blonde hair and brown streaks, honey eyes, and named Celestia Hyoudou Issei. With Kuroka he had a son with brown hair and violet eyes named Basara Hellcat Hyoudou. With Kuoh he had a daughter with brown hair and green eyes named Miku Hyoudou Kuoh. With Seekvaira, he had a son with brown hair and blue eyes named Red/Rojo Hyoudou Agares, who for some strange reason inherited his mother's character and always liked to be dressed in a red vest with white details, a black shirt underneath with short sleeves that peeked out from under the vest, sapphire blue pants and black sneakers with yellow and some orange details. Being the most curious since he was always alone, was very serious, had a penetrating gaze. Almost never spoke, and despite all that he is too intelligent. With Penemu, a blue-haired son with honey almond eyes named Shin Hyoudou. With Gabriel he had a beautiful blonde girl with golden eyes that were a combination of Issei's honey eyes and Gabriel's yellow purity. The girl was named Leah Hyoudou. With Yasaka he had a blonde, blue-eyed daughter who always plays with Kanu and her other siblings. They named the girl Monica Hyoudou. With Lefay he had a blonde-haired hundied son named Issou Hyoudou Pendragon and a brown-haired blue-greeny daughter named Symphia Hyoudou Pendragon. With Rosues, a silver-haired girl with honey eyes named Mio Hyoudou and a brown-haired boy with blue eyes named Blue/Azul Hyoudou, who unlike Red is more social, although he is also very competitive with Red. With Valerie Teps, a blonde-haired red-eyed son named Hideo Teps Hyoudou, and a green-haired hundied girl named Mazusu Teps Hyoudou. And with Seraphal, a boy with black hair with brown tips and blood-red eyes named Kodaka Hyoudou Leviathan, who, according to the other children, is even more serious than Red 17 years later. The protagonist's house. V. A chestnut-tired man can be seen with 12 very beautiful girls and their grown children. Kodaka, 17 years old. Mine, 17 years old. Celestia, 16 years old. Red, 16 years old. Blue, 16 years old. Basara, 14 years old. Shin, 16 years old. Hideo, 14 years old. Mazusu, 14 years old. Symphia, 17 years old. Issou, 16 years old. Everyone was comfortable watching Netflix. Well, not everyone. Red was playing Pokémon Sapphire Alpha on his Nintendo 3DS. Issou with his iPhone 7 on YouTube watching Miss Symphonia. Celestia playing Pokémon Hone Adventures on her iPhone X. Kodaka reading a mangas. Blue playing Pokémon Sapphire Alpha on his Nintendo 3DS, while in a Pokémon battle against Red, who was beating Blue up in the Pokémon League. And Hideo was on Tinder with his gold iPhone 7. Why can't we ever do anything as a family comfortably? Asked the chestnut-tired Hyoudou Issei, current Sekiryuutei and candidate for Dragon God. They spend all their time on their cell phones or playing video games, Lavinia told me while lying on Issei's left shoulder. I see, said Issei, putting a hand to his chin. Hey Red Blue, come here a moment, I want to see your match with everyone else, said Issei, watching as Red and Blue connected their consoles to the TV, seeing that it was just about to start. Let's see who's the best trainer, guys, said the honeyed boy, while his other children agreed, and Celestia supported Red as if her life depended on it. You'll see how I destroy you, beat you 123 times in a row, Blue and Red said in unison. Then the battle begins. Blue brings out his Blastoise and Red his Charizard. Ha, idiot, I have a type advantage, Blue said to Red while smiling. Blastoise, use Hydro Cannon, Blue said, watching as Red's Charizard was left with 1 HP. What the hell? Blue shouted. Charizard Flamethrower. With just that, Red destroyed Blue's blast. It doesn't matter if a Pokémon has a type advantage or not. What matters is the level of your Pokémon, said Red, astonishing everyone and making Issei and Seekvaira proud to see how their son not only sees the advantage but also the appropriate level so that an attack that shouldn't do anything to him weakened him. Tusk, damn it, go Pidgeot. Blue yelled as he sent out his Pidgeot. Go Pikachu, said the brown-haired Red, sending out his Pikachu. Wing attack / volt tackle, they said in unison to see how Pikachu easily defeated Blue's Pidgeot. Go Arcanine, said Blue, taking out his Arcanine. Go Blastoise, Red said, taking out his Blastoise. Flamethrower / Hydro Cannon, they said again in unison so that Red could win again. Tusk, Alakazam, destroy it, said the chestnut-tired Blue as he took out his Alakazam. Venusaur, said Red, taking out one of his strongest Pokémon. Psychic / Razor Blades, they said as they saw Red defeat Blue with 1 blow. Go Executor. Go Snorlax. Razor Blades / Body Slam, they saw how Red's Snorlax beat Blue again. No, you'll see how my new Pokémon destroys you. Go ahead, Lugia, said Blue, taking out a legendary Pokémon. So what do you want me to do? Tremble with fear. Go Espeon, Steel Wing / Shadow Ball, saying that Espeon is seen defeating Lugia with 1 blow, ending the fight. No, because I always lose, said Blue, being comforted by his father and mother. Well done, Red, Celestia congratulated her younger brother. Well, now that the virtual one is over, let's start with the real one, Issei said, signaling everyone to go out to the courtyard. All right, Red, Blue, give it your all, said the hazel-eyed man. I'll make you proud of my Autoson, Red said, sprouting dragon wings. Let's see who's stronger. 5 minutes later. Everyone was sweating profusely because the battle was very easy as Red knocked Blue out with 1 blow. Okay, said Red upon seeing his brother. Nah, I'm leaving now, he said, leaving to who knows where. This day was kind of strange, Issei said. End of chapter. Life 04, why me? Hyoudou Issei, the current Sekiryuutei and pillar of the factions, noticed after his battle against Trihexa that his harem distanced itself from him. They no longer slept together, they didn't talk or act like a couple. What the hell did I do to make them forget me? Was Hyoudou Issei's comment. Don't worry, buddy, I know they're just preparing something for you. You know, perhaps there is a new evil dragon, he said, much to the Welsh dragon's bewilderment. What are you talking about? You say that if I don't fall into the dragon's fall, I can die or become an evil dragon. I'll go for the second one. I'm going for a walk. So the chestnut tree went for a walk towards the shopping center. Just as he was leaving a store, he saw his fiancée Rias Gremory with a dark-haired boy. Not wanting to misinterpret things, he approached to see what she was saying. Ryukun, I love you, Gremory said, kissing the boy. I like Rias Gremory more, he said strangely, using her full name. Issei left sadly because, despite wanting to be an evil dragon, seeing the girl he loved most affected him too much. He left there, passing by a karaoke bar where he saw Zenobia, Irina, and Asia with 3 different boys singing happily, and at the end they kissed. Issei threw down his coffee and ran away in tears. In an alley, he saw Kaneko with one of her senpais. Then, after running again, he saw Kuroka holding hands with Vali. Issei ended up going to the park where he was killed by Rainier. No one will want a pervert like you. You'll never love without getting hurt. Those words echoed within Issei. It seems I was right, Issei said, looking up at the sky. Then he looked at the fountain but felt a terrible pain in his chest, and he ended up spitting blood. Damn it, mate, you've got the dragon's fall. Hee, so it all ends, sorry Ddraig. I would have liked to die in battle, but oh well, I die in such a pathetic way. I'm sorry to tarnish your name, Ddraig, said the brown-haired man, remembering his life. His birth when he met Irina, elementary school, middle school, his date with Yuma. His reincarnation if he fights with Razor, Cockabeel, Volley, Deodora, Sergeorg, Samel, Hades, Rizvim, Trihexa. Elsewhere, poor boy, he suffered a lot besides, he never accepted being a demon. I'll give him another chance. The person cracked their fingers while looking through a magic circle at the half-dead chestnut-tired man, Issei's son. Out of nowhere, a rift opens, tearing through reality as it absorbs Issei. Hours later, N.A., this happens minutes before the faction meeting in Chapter 1. In the underworld, you can see a castle where the guards are dead while a hooded boy walks in as if nothing is wrong. Hello, Rizvim, said the boy, taking off his hood and revealing a brown-haired boy with honey-colored eyes. Who the hell? He was interrupted by being punched in the stomach by the boy W. Who are you? Your executioner Hyoudou Issei, you say, giving him a punch in the face, sending him flying. At that moment, Kayako and his team arrive. Don't interfere, he said, summoning a Scallon and killing them without giving them time to attack. What I couldn't achieve in my world, I will do in this one. Please don't kill me, better join me, Reincarnation said, somewhat frightened by the sight of the blood-covered boy and his dead henchmen. That's fine, he said decisively. Great, you'll see that he was interrupted again as he was pierced through the stomach by a sword made of light. No way you believed that, said the chestnut-tired man, referring to the photo. You didn't believe that, did you? The photo didn't even show up. At that moment, Reincarnation opens a magic circle that appears in the middle of the meeting. Help, a madman wants to kill me, he said, shocking everyone. It's rude to ignore your visitors, Issei said, cutting off Reincarnation's leg. I don't mess around, he said, killing Reincarnation. After introducing himself and a battle with the wielder of Vritra. As I said in my story, when I died from the blood of Samuel, Great Red and Off-Eyes created a body for me using their flesh and powers. As soon as I arrived, I started investigating what was happening, and during that investigation, Great Red sensed my power and I told him my story. He trained me in a place where 10 years here are like 8 weeks. He also helped me awaken my powers from Off-Eyes and Great Red. I have 79% control of Off-Eyes' powers and 20% control of Great Red's. He explained why he has that power. I see, well, Icekun, you will take responsibility for kissing my sister, right? Said the one who appeared to be the leader of the angels, Michael, with a sinister aura and a gloomy and eerie smile. Obviously, Michael, if I kissed her it's for a reason, right? Issei said, far from being intimidated. Speaking of which, Gabrielchen, would you like to go to the human world with me on a date? Issei asked the angel. For some strange reason, her heart told her to go to what she said no, leaving Issei perplexed. Great, I have more opportunities with Gabriel/Sama, said Azazel, and some angels, fallen angels and random demons who were around. Until you tell me what you were doing a few moments ago, Gabriel said, blushing, puffing out one cheek and playing with her fingers. Huh, okay, Gabichin, do you want to go out with me? Issei asked. Yes, let's go now. For some strange reason, Gabriel felt good being with Issei even though they had only known each other for a few hours. Let's go, he said, making a magic circle. Some time later. Time passed and Issei began to get along well with Yasaka, Penemu, Izumi, and Valerie. Similarly, she began a relationship with Gabriel where Azazel and those who were interested in her, 98% of the factions, made an altar to Issei with a sect where he was their god. Some time later. Something bad had to happen. Peace never lasts forever. Just when Issei was rebuilding his life with Gabriel and Valerie, something bad had to happen. Valerie's fiancé had to appear and take his beloved away from her by force. Present. Issei was waking up as he opened his eyes, looking at Gabriel with a worried expression. Gabichin, said Issei, even though he was kissed and hugged by the angel. I'm sorry for not being with you, she said through tears. Don't cry, my love, she said, hugging Gabriel. I always have to make the ones I love cry, she said with obvious frustration as she hugged Gabriel. Everything was fine until Valerie/Valricha. They both shouted as they remembered the silver-haired girl.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.